Hello and welcome. You're listening to Hurry, the Movie is Starting podcast. Howdy, y'all. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day. My day is going pretty good. Thank you for asking. But anyways, we're back. We're back with another pregame. There is not going to be a review podcast for Final Destination Bloodlines. Went and saw it. Thought it was solid. No complaints. It did hit my fix of wanting to see Final Destination. It was a little boring in some parts, in my opinion, but I went and watched it. I just don't feel like it's worth a review, honestly, because it's not. I wasn't crazy about it, so I don't really want to talk about it as much. We were just talking about it a little bit that day after leaving the theater, and I talked about it a little at work, but it's just not really a movie I really want to review at this point in time. So we're going to skip the review and move on to the next pregame, which... hope you're a fan of horror, because we're going into the horror element this time. I mean, Final Destination is technically considered horror as well, but whereas in that movie, it's more so of like an invisible villain that brings anxiety because death is around us all the time. But that movie seems a little bit more on the unrealistic aspect of things, whereas this movie might also be a little I don't know. The trailer is so like, it doesn't say a lot, so it's kind of hard to understand what this movie is actually going to be about. I think we have a baseline concept, but today we're going to be pre-gaming the movie Bring Her Back, which comes out on May 30th. It is a horror movie that is rated R. It is going to be a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes, and you might have heard about this little company that is releasing this film. It is coming from a A24. Yeah, A24 out with another horror movie from the Philippou brothers, Danny and Michael Philippou. So you might have known them from Talk to Me. They're back in Bring Her Back. What a combo there. So the plot for this movie is a brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother. That is the concept. You watch the trailer, you don't see much. You see something about like talking about an angel, about this kid that can potentially bring people back to life. I don't know what to expect in this one. I'm just going in hyped because the directors, Danny and Michael Philippou, again, I said they did that movie Talk to Me, which was their first like directorial debut, because if you hadn't noticed, they are a tag team on YouTube under the username Raka Raka. And if you're not a fan of Raka Raka, I'm sorry, we can't be friends anymore. I'm just joking, but they do like a lot of skits and just like fight scenes, and the choreography in their videos and just the stunts, how it like escalates and gets more diverse the more popular they become. It's just a 10 out of 10 for me, and I just love their channel. They even have something like Avengers versus it was like a Star Wars versus Harry Potter, just these random like fight videos, and they're always so like hilarious and just well done, and their stunts are just 10 out of 10. They even did some behind the scenes stuff where they were like bleeding from the stunts and whatnot. So you can tell like just the way they talk about like creating and doing and like just directing in that moment. It made me a fan. You can tell the passion was into it, and I am into what they are producing. And they are producing directing a movie called Bring Her Back that is by A24. It's another horror movie, so I'm hyped for it. I'm gonna get you hyped for it too. This cast of the movie features Billy Barrett, Sally Hawkins, who you might know from she's Wonka's mom. She's also the mom from Paddington, and she also got it on with an Aquaman in Shape of Water. She's just a great actor. I remember watching Cinema Therapy, and they were like, she just has this unique smile that just makes your heart so warm, and she does. You can just tell that she's got a kind soul. She's in this movie, as is Mishka Haywood, Jonah Wren Phillips, Stephen Phillips, any relation? I don't know. I didn't check. And Sally Ann Upton, which shout out to her IMDb professional photo, because go look it up. Sally-Ann Upton IMDb. Let's just if you want a little laugh. That is about the movie. We're going to the leaderboard, which, if you don't recall, it is going to be the top movies from this last weekend in the box office. May 16th through the 18th. Number 1, coming in hot, Final Destination Bloodlines. It was a release this week, so this is fresh. 51.6 million. Not bad. Not bad for a 7th movie. I believe it's the 7th or the 6th. It's either 6th or 7th. But not bad for a movie that hadn't been made for 14 years, coming back to take number 1 at 51.6 million. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Thunderbolts, the former number 1, slides down to number 2 with 16.6 million. Still not bad. This is like, I think, week number 3 now, and that's pretty impressive that they're still up there. I think people are getting the hype out there. I think other people that didn't want to see it heard that it's good, so like, I'll check it out. It'd be like that sometimes, and that's okay. That's okay. Number 3, did you expect anything else? A Minecraft movie just sits there again. $6 million. There is $6 million worth of sales of this movie that has been out for so long. It's wild to me, but I understand it. I understand that Minecraft is a very popular game. So that is the top leaderboard for the weekend. What's the top leaderboard for 2025, you may ask? Well, coming in and staying. He's got the chair up. He's got his feet up. He's got a little glass of lemonade with some ice in it. He's got some cookies over there too if he wants a snack, maybe. It's a Minecraft movie. He's comfortable in number 1 is what I'm trying to say. I don't know when I just kind of just started talking and my mind just ran away with that one. But a Minecraft movie, the point I'm trying to make, is still in number 1 top 5 movies of 2025. It's coming in hot at 417.9 million overall, which it's an increase of 8.9 million from last week. This movie has been out for 47 days. 47 days. How many weeks is that, you might ask? That is 6 weeks and 5 days. 6 weeks, and this movie is just plus 8.9 million from last week. That is impressive. I did not expect this at all. I knew Minecraft was popular. I did not know it was this popular, and I thought the movie looked like it was going to be dumb. But I'm not a Minecraft. I had never played Minecraft. I mean, I have played it once or twice, but I'm not a Minecraft fan. So this just blows my mind. Maybe y'all expected that. I don't know. But anyways, that's going to bring us to number 2. Same from last week. It is Sinners, $244.6 million, which it is. It's now rounded up to Minecraft. It's not even close. It's still like 100 and something away. But see, this last week, Minecraft only got 8.9 million increase. Sinners came in with 30.2 increase. So they're closing the gap a little bit, a little bit. They just want to make Minecraft look over its shoulder and start to like hustle a little bit more. But don't forget, once these movies leave the theater, that score is final. So I don't know, how long is Minecraft going to stay there? Is Sinners going to pass it up? I don't know. This is something that I'm invested in at this point, which is wild because at the beginning of the year, I would have never thought I would be interested in seeing if a movie can catch another movie for first place. But here we are. Number 3, Captain America Brave New World. It's out of theaters. It is stuck now. Final line for Captain America Brave New World is 200.5 million. Just like Mufasa, which is coming up later on this list. Spoiler alert. This movie is stuck at 200.5 million. So the big question is, can number 4 overcome it? Number 4 being Thunderbolts with the little asterisk, because if you know, you know. That movie is at 159.5 million. So it's about 40.5 million away from Captain America Brave New World, but it's still out and made $31 million this last week. So it's still there. Anything from here is profit in the tailing of Captain America Brave New World. And since it is a Marvel movie and we don't have another Marvel movie coming out till Fantastic Four, I think Thunderbolts is going to take that 3 spot. I do. Which is wild because I never thought I would say that this year. And then last but not least, Mufasa, number 5, who is what is also done in the movie theaters, stuck at 126.4 million. So it'd be interesting to see how this shakes up throughout the year, because I definitely don't think Mufasa is going to stay in that top 5. But hey, every day it's there is a day that I did not expect it to be there. So woe is me. But speaking of Danny and Michael Philippou, Talk to Me, its overall box office made 48 million and change. So that was a pretty good box office for them, because that movie came out of nowhere. A24 likes to release these movies that are lesser known, and that movie was not known, but it was a good movie, and I was very, very pleased with Danny and Michael Philippou. So that's just information that you can know for later on, which brings me to my next segment, top 3 Letterboxd of the week, which it didn't change much except for Final Destination Bloodlines is now the most popular, with Sinners and Thunderbolts trailing behind, of course. And popular with friends this week. Again, this is going to be when I release one of the movies that is popular with one of my friends. Just to get it out there, I might watch it. You can go watch it if you want. If it sounds like it's your cup of tea, go watch it. If it doesn't, you're just listening to this for a second. The movie is called Excision, which I believe is like a horror movie. I was told it was an interesting movie with some sexy scenes and just an interesting concept. It didn't get a very good rating from my friends, so take it for what it is. It's either like a movie that you might like or you're probably not going to like, but it's definitely a sexy time movie, so don't watch with your parents around because that would be a little awkward. But that's enough about rankings of past movies. We are on this current movie that is yet to come out, but it's coming out. It's coming out. Keep an eye out for May 30th when this movie releases because I think it's gonna be solid. But that's enough about that. Let's get into the facts, the fun facts. And the only fun fact for this movie is this is the second feature film from the Philippou brothers, which we've already mentioned that. So that's pretty much the only fun fact. And the fact that it doesn't have a lot of facts makes me even more excited because I'm like, oh, nobody like they're keeping this close to the vest, and that usually means there's like a good twist or two. So I'm just probably looking too far into it, but it's good to see. It's good to see for sure. But what do y'all think about it? Or actually, I should ask, what does the comment section think about it? Because we're jumping into the comment section. First comment comes from @SatYRBoy117. One thing we are learning, if you're in a Philippou movie and you're some younger boy and you meet a woman who is not getting over the loss of a loved one, you run! Facts, because if you remember, Talk to Me was a movie where you can like hold the hand and be able to talk to like dead ancestors or just dead spirits in general, and then that often opens the door for more frightening things to come through that door. And this movie, in this trailer, we see that someone has lost a parent, so it's just going to be interesting to see where this one goes. Next comment comes from @CompileMama. Thank you for not giving the entire movie away. This looks genuinely unsettling. Agreed. This is one of those good times where the trailer doesn't show much. It does show you a little bit, and you're like, whoa, what is that? What's going on here? It sparks your interest without showing you a lot. And I don't remember much from the trailer, which is a good thing because I want to go in as fresh as I can to this movie and try and take it all in. So I agree with this comment. 10 out of 10 trailer. 10 out of 10. @Super Revelation says, my husband worked for weeks on the shot of the circle surrounding the house. This is going to be an intense movie. Yo, that's awesome. So her husband apparently worked on this movie too. And it's just cool to see like the different people that come into the comment section. Like last week we had a dead meat sighting in the comment section, and now we have a wife of a husband who is helped shooting the movie. So that's cool to see. @Redditor Sensei says, interesting fact. Oh, look, we get a free fact out of this one. The trailer starts and ends with the same phrase in Russian. Quote, the body should die in the same way the old one did. That's freaking crazy, dude. Look at that. Come into the comment section expecting just some like entertainment and just to get other people's point of views. And we get a freaking fun fact that the movie trailer starts and ends with the same phrase in Russian. The new body should die the same way the old one did. What does that mean? The new body should die the same way the old one did. So does that mean that the person they're bringing to life, that's going to be their new body? But in order for them to potentially kill them, because we're probably going to have some kind of flip of morals going on in this one. So that let's say they bring someone back and now this person is like evil. Is that a code on how to take this evil person out? Is that what the concept's going to be? I don't know. That's just a theory. Let's jump to the next comment, which comes from RaySim9898. The trailer is the definition of what all movies trailers should strive for. Give us so little, but so much at the same time. Boom. Boom. It's just a good trailer. It is a good trailer, especially when you're going into the theaters. Like I saw the trailer for this during Final Destination. I was in my seat. I had my popcorn. I had my soda. I was having a good time. And then this trailer comes up and I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm already hyped for it, but that just adds a little salt onto the dish. @Joey-H WF5MC said the shot of her casting the circular rune on a rainy window with blood is absolutely stunning. Boom! I'm pretty sure that's what the previous comment. My husband worked for weeks on the shot with a circle surrounding the house. Oh, maybe not. But that would have been cool if that was the same shot he was talking about. But no, this one, I think she's just making a rune circle on the window with blood. And then the last comment comes from at JJ London. The camcorder shots alone are already selling me. Haven't seen that type of imagery in a horror film in a long ass time. Super unsettling. Makes it feel very real, like you're there. Yup. And that's what I'm saying with the Philippou brothers. I feel like they're invested. They're like into this 100%. I feel like both their passions, or even just one, their passion is into it. And when we get someone who's passionate about something, they find new ways to make things better. And it just, from this trailer alone, I'm hyped. Are we going to get it where it's like Hereditary and Midsommar, where people absolutely loved Hereditary and then it was like split on Midsommar? I think they're both great, honestly, but I'm an Ari Aster fan, so I might be a little biased in that aspect. It would just be interesting to see how this one turns out. I don't know. I think I'm going to like it, but when I go in hyped, it honestly doesn't take much. I mean, yeah, it does. Joker and Harley proved that it does, because that movie, I went in so hyped for that movie. But, I'm just so hyped for this movie. And you know what? I want to share that with you. I want to share the hyped with you on the top 3 reasons you should go watch this movie. Number 1, the Philippou brothers have showed they've got what it takes. Talk to Me, fantastic movie. Took a original concept and just blew it up. That's how you always love to see that in horror. Because in horror, it is one of those genres that you kind of get stuff spit out a lot. You get the movies that have interesting concepts, but the outcome is terrible, or they have terrible concepts and then the outcome is even worse, or it's a movie where we go into it not knowing what to expect, like Sinners, and it just blows everyone's mind. So Talk to Me was a great movie. It exceeded all my expectations, and I already had high expectations for that movie, so that's number 1. Number 2, the number 1 box office in horror movies is obviously Sinners, but I mean, does that really count as a horror movie? Does it? Because it's not really a scary movie. It's more like dark comedy with some horror elements dripped in for sure because of the vampires. But if you're not counting that as a horror movie, the number 1 horror movie is in the box office is Final Destination Bloodlines at $62.839 million. Which that is a lot of money. Not going to lie, that is a lot of money. But that's not that high in my opinion. I think, that's what the thing though. These A24 movies sometimes go like underrated, because Talk to Me only got 48 million and change. And I think, like, if we're talking about on the scale of goodness, I think Talk to Me was better than Final Destination. I know that is not an equal comparison because that's like apples and bananas, but still, if you're comparing it in that way, where a movie that is better should have a higher box office rather than a movie that's more popular, then you would assume that this movie is going to be having a very good box office. But it's a flawed prediction. But anyways, my number 3 reason you should go watch Bring Her Back. Sinners showed us that original horror movies reign supreme. These movies that are just the same thing over and over and over, or Ghostbusters number 9.5, or these movies that are just like overdone, that gets boring. It does. It really does get boring. Sometimes there's like a spark in the eye of the movie where it actually turns out to be better than we thought, but other times it's just overdone. And I personally love when a horror movie comes out with an original concept and just goes in a different direction that we're used to, because I think when a movie tricks me, like the predictability on it is very low, I end up tipping my cap to that movie, because I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just saying I watched a lot of movies, so this could just be happening at this point. But I go into a lot of new movies and are able to predict what's going on. And that sometimes, it used to be like, oh, hey, I knew that was going to happen. Now it's just like, oh, come on, guys. You got to like, come on, how am I predicting this? But regardless of that, Sinners was one of those movies that I was hyped from the trailer. It just looked like a great time. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. We knew it was going to be good. But then it was like so much better than that. and it was just a top tier movie, and I'm so glad that I was able to watch that movie and just be able to talk about it with everyone, because everyone went and watched that movie, and that just makes a movie so much better. So I'm hyping this movie up because Sinners showed us that original horror movies reign supreme, and that is an original piece right there. But enough about talking. Let's get into the numbers with over under. So the last we entered this week 3-3. Actually, we entered the last episode 3-3 with an under prediction on Final Destination Bloodlines at 7.1. That was a tough under because I think the movie did a little bit better than I anticipated. However, as of today, this movie still sits at 7.1 out of 10 with 25,000 votes. So that's going to be our rare push. A rare push. And for those of you who aren't gamblers, a push means it's a tie. I don't win. The spread doesn't win. However, we do have now a 3-digit record with 3-1. So we're looking like soccer out here, or football out here. But anyways, that's going to bring us to this movie, which sits at a Metascore of 73 right now. However, there is no official critic ratings on the actual number from 1 to 10 because it hasn't been released yet. But Talk to Me came out, is currently at a 7.1. I think it was higher than that at some point, but regardless of that, the Metascore 73 and Talk to Me 7.1. I'm going to make the line for this one 7.2, and I'm going over. I am going over. I think this movie, honestly, I think Talk to Me came out and it was really high, maybe 7.9, 7.8, 7 or 8, something like that. And then just over time, it kind of dropped. So I'm expecting this movie to come out hot. I think it's going to come out like a 7.8, 7.9, and then slowly drop it out. But you know how this works. I'll get the final number score the day I do my next podcast. So keep an eye on that next episode, which actually, that's going to be the end of this episode. And the next episode is actually going to be The Life of Chuck, coming out June 6th. I did not hear about this movie. I did not know anything about this movie. I was just looking at upcoming releases, and I see it's Tom Hiddleston. So I was like, okay, well, Tom Hiddleston's coming out in a movie. It must be a solid movie. Then I'm finding out it's a Stephen King non-horror movie. And then the cast in this movie, Matthew Lillard's in it. I just saw his name and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm watching this movie. And then just so much more actors and actresses in this movie that I didn't even hear about. So I think we got a potential banger on our hands. For those of you who don't remember, Stephen King also wrote Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. So this guy, I mean, he's not only horror. I'm pretty hyped. That's going to be the next episode, which is going to come out June 6th is when that movie comes out. So it'll be about 4 or 5 days before that date. And also, as I said in my last podcast episode, I'm going to be creating a new segment called 5 Stars, in which I talk to someone about a 5-star movie they rated. And it's going to be kind of not necessarily an interview kind of segment, but it's just going to be talking about specifically one person's favorite movie and why it's their favorite movie, and just learning to love that movie a little bit more. Because sometimes I'm gonna have a guest where they're like, oh, Garfield is my 5-star movie, and I'm gonna be like, you must love lasagna. No, but I'm gonna be like, okay, why? And I want to see their perspective, because perspective in this world is such a beautiful thing. And I think if we can be able to see other people's perspectives, I think that lets us grow and just appreciate the things that we might have just overran in the first place. So keep an eye out for that episode. I got my friend in contact. We're gonna set this up. I gotta see what movie he wants to talk about, what his 5-star movie is, because I gotta do a little research. I gotta go watch the movie and then create a segment for y'all. So there's no official release date on that, because getting 2 people together for a schedule, it's going to be something ongoing throughout this year as well. I'm still going to be doing the pre-games and the reviews when I have a good movie worth reviewing, in my opinion. But these are going to be on those weeks where there's nothing in, there's no really solid movie or movie that I don't really want to pre-game coming out. We'll have that, not necessarily filler, but we'll have the pop-in episode of the 5-star segment. So just keep an eye out on that. And if any of y'all want to join on an episode, just message me on Facebook, because I just want to talk about movies, and I want to learn other people's perspectives of movies and why they love that movie, because I think this could be a beautiful thing. I do think this could be a beautiful thing. But as I said earlier, that's going to end this podcast episode. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for listening in. The support from this last week has been insane, and it's so good to see, because this is something that I love to do, and just that the added bonus that people actually want to listen to it is just it makes me feel, it makes me smile. It makes me smile. And I want to keep doing this, so we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep trudging forward. We're going to keep talking about movies. We're going to be talking about other people's favorite movies and why it's their favorite movie. I'm excited. The future is bright. The future is bright. So thank you all for listening in. Thank you for downloading this or giving it a thumbs up. And thank you for everything. I really, truly hope you are having a great day. And again, thank you so much. God bless you. Love you. And don't forget, hurry, the movie is starting. Thanks, y'all.